The U.S. economy is still described as tenuous, but don't tell that to investors who have driven large U.S. stock indices towards all-time highs.
If the U.S. economy is just okay, why is the stock market rising so steadily? Jill Schlesinger, editor-at-large of CBS MoneyWatch.com, is here to tell us exactly what's going on. And I'm joking around a little bit, but I've wondered this myself.
Yeah, it's probably the most frequently asked question over the last 5 or 6 weeks. So all the major stock indexes, they're up about 5% this year. And let's look at what's going on here. We've got 3 factors outside of the U.S. So number one, for the first time in more than 2 years, Europe is retreating from crisis mode. Next, after a red-hot property bubble burst in China, economists thought that the country was going to enter this terrible, prolonged downward spiral. The country avoided the much-feared hard landing in China. Economy in China resuming growth. Finally, new Japanese officials just elected. They've started to address the country's multi-decade stagnation. So that's all good news.
Yeah, earlier there were worries about factors from Washington having an impact on the stock market. Didn't seem to come to play.
Yeah, well, you know, Congress delaying the battle over the debt ceiling until May has really reduced some of the near-term pressure. Also, the housing market is contributing to economic growth instead of dragging it down. And I think most importantly, today kicks off the first Federal Reserve meeting of the year, and the Fed continues to maintain low interest rate policies until employment improves substantially. So that's a real big boost. You take the outside the U.S., inside the U.S., a lot of factors there, bring it all together.
And it all sounds positive, but there must be a downside.
You know that I'm going to bring up the downside.
Right.
You know I'm going there. Okay, of course lawmakers could turn everything upside down because we've got these across-the-board budget cuts coming up. We've got budget negotiations. And I will bring up something else. There is evidence that small investors, just like us, are piling into stocks again. You know, that can actually be a negative. In the past, when retail investors start to become optimistic, they usually do so at the exact wrong times. They go into stocks only after they've gone up. They head for the exits when they have dropped. But now may be an excellent time to rebalance your accounts. Make sure that your allocation is where you want it to be. On MoneyWatch.com, we have the specific steps you should be taking with your portfolio right now.
Everything that goes up
could come down.
Okay, thanks so much, Jill.